Hi guys, it's that time again. Which is better? And we're going straight back to Thrash, and it's going to be another Death Angel special, and it will be between the Ultraviolence or Frolic in the Park. And before I continue, I'm going to leave links in the description down below to check out songs by Testament, as well as links to check out my Twitter and Instagram page, where you get to see what songs I'm listening to and what my band merch collection looks like. So looking at the Ultraviolence, none of these guys were over the age of 20 when recording this record, and it's astonishing considering that the average age of the group was 14 years old. And to begin with, all of the band members are still extremely young, and they were able to write and record songs like the devastating title track, Killers One, as well as the title track, and the youth shows in positive ways. The sheer intensity of this album can be attributed to the raw aggression of these young talents, just entering their prime as musicians. Couple this with the well above average production, and the record sounds phenomenal from start to finish. Into the record is no problem. The songs differentiate themselves enough to keep the listener active and attentive during the playthrough. It's hard to say that about a lot of thrash music. Each song can stand out on its own and is uniquely different. Even the closing track, IPFS, is a great tune on its own, making you wish that maybe it was even longer. Now, consistency is important in this case, and the album is consistently great. Finally, the album artwork is extremely important to the image of the album. It's what the listener sees when they hear the music inside, and it's definitely the case with Death Angel. They did not drop the ball here. It has got to be one of the bleakest covers in the genre, yet not over the top. The white backdrop and the entire cover gives it a sort of void feeling, or a lack of emotion for the destruction they're about to cause to your ears. They need to apologise for what they've recorded. A couple of points to include the sound of the dual guitars that dominate the album. Some of the best sounding and space filling in the genre, in my opinion. Some song names and content are not lacking it in the creative sense. And Mark Usaguda's screeches are absolutely insane, and usually the highlights of the songs that he does to sing. Some of these songs are no laughing matter in the technical sense, and the boys aren't afraid to switch things up. Compared to what else came out in 1987, this record easily defends its position among one of the very best debuts in the genre. As we'll look at Frolic Through the Park. Now, the late 80s were calling for more serious, more proficient ways of execution. Bashing from here to end of time wasn't going to do the trick anymore. Even Slayers themselves slowed down, looking to expand their arsenal beyond the extreme aggression of Rain Blood, and Metallica continued their progression scale with the complex and Justice for All. And believe it or not, these budding teenagers known as Death Angel thought that they could also join the technical progressive thrash fray, which was swiftly becoming a formidable presence on the scene. They would have been fun unleashing another Ultraviolence song on the lines of their excellent debut, but no, they were aiming for higher than that. Their more creative side was crying out for expression, and they just had to give it a try. There's a lot of hesitation on this album, and the guys weren't sure whether to remain faithful to the style on their first album or to enter the technical progressive thrash metal arena occupied by the likes of Toxic, Realm, Blind Illusion and Watchtower, or to go head over heels into a new eccentric bizarre territory with all the funk and non-metal additives they can think of. Hesitations are kind of usually the generally messy results, but in the case of these talented youngsters, we have one of the finest moments in the Bay Area scene. An album full of vitality, complexity and creativity. The song The Third Floor is the ultimate shredder. A stunning refresh with outlandish progressive build-ups and a wide variety of tempo changes. The song Road Mutants is a nearly futuristic thrasher with dizzying time shifts, and the spacey void-vodish arrangements and the sudden change of pace make for a maddening exit. The song Why Do You Do This goes further down the Vaudian rabbit hole, starting as a Frolic thrash crossover cut before brilliant stylish riffs begin in one-of-a-kind drill with a latter intercepted by more carefree crossover dashes. And watch out for the dramatic accumulation in the second half, which shoots this great track straight into the exotic thrash land, and chronically this even comes before Voivod's album, Dimension Hatros. The song Bored may bore you a bit, arriving after the most tantalizing opening trio that the guys have laid down, just relaxing with the laid-back jumpy rhythms of not a very serious thrash nature. Devil's Me is a marvelous progressive piece with gradual local inauguration which logically leads to impetuous hard thrashing riffage which sounds intimidating enough without any particularly speedy excursions. The fabulous technical section splits the song into these youngsters almost giving Death Row and Coroner a run for their money. Also with a couple of superb melodic leads and furious gallops served as a finale. The masterpieces don't end there, though comes the song Confused to confuse the listener even in more with a sprawling demon prologue which later turns into her main motif and its steady stride interrupted by an abrupt speedy crescendo. The established Lil lasted for about 7 minutes. Guilty of Innocence brings back the more intense riff patterns, recalling the debut in a great way. A remorseless lashing composition with a few more intricate embellishments, including a number of surprising inclusions of a several frivolous crossover eludes. The song Open Up is the first funky explosion, a pioneering number predating Mordred's In This Life and even Faith No More's Real Thing and even Reanimator's Laughing by a few years. Its carefree nature is marked by the more aggressive thrashing. The lengthy atmospheric intro of Shores of Sin may stretch the nerves a bit, and when some distorted noisy leads follow suit, the fan may start thinking that a more serious side of the album is over. And the movie right as this saga is a mix of intense thrash and softer progressive decisions plus a strangely uplifting chorus surrounded by psychedelic melodic tunes. This weird vibe of the highest order which only deepens with Cold Gin, yes, a Kiss cover, which may be the end their affair with this opus, but performed quite faithfully without any thrash pretensions. Excluding the last track, the ending may appear a bit scattered with too many influences piled on each other, some of them debatable in terms of relevance, where teenagers had let the creative spirit roam free and the purest nightmare in the process. Many of the hard Thrashman fans must have been petrified listening to this album, which usually produced the first diversification album in the annals of this genre. If there wasn't a healthy follow-up to this enterprise, this album would have remained a most despicable entry in the history of metal, and would have ruined the guy's career before he even started. But then again, it spawned a trend which saw others joining without a second thought, like the mentioned Mordred, Reanimator, Blossom and Jetsam, Wrathchild America, Wrath, Omnitron, and so on, who brought a softer, less radically aggressive touch to the thrash metal template. And when Slaughter and even Pantera introduced the aggro dissipations, it all steamrolled from there. And well, you kind of know the story too well. Apparently it's not too far-fetched to blame Death Angel for the whole nice transformational campaign, but it can't be denied the fact that the boys, even without establishing themselves as a legitimate presence on the field yet, dared to meddle with the thrash metal formula and actually produce something quite effective, especially from a contemporary point of view. The mindset of the 80s metalhead was slowly opening up to new possibilities outside the aggressive, shut-down barrage, and it was albums like this that helped accelerate the process and made the genre more attractive and more interesting. A more interesting proposition. If we were to be very honest, there's plenty of hard thrashing on it to satisfy the most pretentious chocolate of smashing hyperactive riffs has been provided to make the hardball forget the presence of a mellower digressions if they choose to. Everybody has to be taken off. However, not on Act 3. But that was to be expected. The revolution has started and there was no turning back. In other words, thrash was completely gone from the band's arsenal, save for a couple of isolated basher strokes. This effort led them out of the underground and exposed them to a wider audience. However, they did split up after some of them moved on with the alternative metal rock formation, The Organization. Their journey after the reformation in the new millennium has been an interesting one. The beginning was very convincing with the guys vacillating as to which road to take from the old ones. However, things have improved in recent albums, and since there are simply no new vistas to be explored anymore, fans of good old thrash metal should have no worries that their favourite music become Frolic and Trippy again, just like that, for no apparent reason. So there we go, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.